All right, good morning. I believe it's Friday today. It is Friday today. Haha, I know what day it is. That's good. Apple had a pretty good earnings gap up to 409, which is above my chart here. It's up here somewhere. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Amazon, I'm not sure what they did. They also reported earnings 32.19, so under the all-time high. Not a ton going on there. What's up, Rob? And then what was another one that Facebook? 250, so that is into all-time high. So Nasdaq opening up about 1% higher today. Kind of stuck in the doldrums down here, but had a good close yesterday. Not sure if that was aftermarket or not. Let me see. Yeah, it was right after the market closed. This is one of those futures tricks. So here's where the general market closes on this candle. That's where the actual Nasdaq closes. And the futures are still open on this candle. And they ran it right after the futures open or the futures closed. I'm sorry. They ran it after the market closed, but between the market close and the futures opening or closing. You know what I'm saying. Market closes it on the dot, you know, 12:59 according to this chart, and the futures keep going until I think quarter after. So it's one of those kind of futures issues. Anyway, good open on the futures. It's early, Rob. Let me be. Damn it. I don't know what to say. Yeah. Futures closed 15 minutes after the normal market. So they ran it after the normal market closed for their 15 minutes and then some. So anyway, yeah, it looks like a 1% gap up. And actually, that may be 1% on futures close, not even 1%. No, I don't think it is. Let me see here. Oh, it is 1% on futures close. So it's going to be bigger than, it's going to be bigger on the Qs. It's going to be it's like a 2% gap open on the Qs. Yeah, 265 open on the Qs. I'm also glad you didn't short Julius. That's fantastic. Really went to 265, huh? Yeah, so that's a big jump on the Qs, man. There you go. 1.82% for the Qs. That's not triple, that's not TQQQ, that's QQQ. So you're looking at, 5% jump for the triple Qs. All right, Facebook up, Amazon up, Tesla up, Document AMD. Okay, not Kodak down 16. That'd be interesting to see what happens with that guy. Already starting off selling a little bit right there. Silver gapped up just about as much as it was down yesterday. Wow, look at let's look at the SLV. Okay, so here's another NASDAQ up in this area. We've never closed above our high today has been 10,939. We've never closed above 10,949. So up in our recent resistance area on the NASDAQ, selling off a little bit this morning. We'll see if it keeps going or not. I don't know. With good earnings out of Apple and those guys, it's hard to say that. I don't know. So talking about the Nasdaq splitting 4 to 1, looks like they're going to do it on 8/31, which is in a month. So talk about the net or the Apple splitting 4 to 1. I don't know if this would qualify Apple, but for um, too many splits. Sometimes when you have a stock that splits too many times in a short period of time, it ends up being the top for that stock. Obviously, Apple has defied any reasonable topping action for 20 years, it seems like, basically 20 years. All right, 18 years if you want to give up the year 2000, but you get my point. Apple's hasn't topped forever. Thought it could have been done here. I thought it could have been done here. No, just keeps going. Just keeps going. So I don't know if stock splitting is going to stop Apple either. They're still just the biggest money printing machine on the planet, regardless of how many shares they have. The theory behind that is that when you split it too many times, it takes too much, which is kind of a weird doctrine, but it seems to work for some of the older IBD stuff. What ends up happening is that there's too many shares, and that they can't find enough people to buy all those shares. Sounds a little weird, but it's kind of the theory behind it. Does the pre-aftermarket indicate anything? Um, yes and no. I mean, nothing, nothing exotic, nothing. It's okay, so there's some tricky things to the stock market, and pre and after hours are one of those things, in my opinion. They're just a little bit tricky. Yeah, Julia says it's pretty random. It is pretty random. Now, usually when you're in like a really good market situation, early stages of a bull run, you'll have gaps, in other words, movement after market that continues moving in that direction. Later stages, they use the gaps to sell into. This is a decent little example of that, right? They gap it up here and then they start selling, because the thing about aftermarket is it takes a lot less money to move the stock. So they'll actually move the stock where they want it to go, and then they'll sell it. Or they'll drop it down if they want to buy it, and then they'll buy it. Because you can't buy a lot in aftermarket trading. You can buy, but you can't buy, like this opening candle here, which is 5 million shares. You're not going to buy 5 million shares, maybe all of overnight, but I think Apple will do like, what's the average on Apple? Yeah, 30 million shares. You're not going to get 30 million shares in aftermarket trading. So they'll sometimes manipulate the after hours markets to give them what they want. We can probably see a couple examples of it here on the daily chart during very volatile times. So you can see here they reversed it lower, they gapped it lower, and then they bought it up all day long. And then over here they gapped it up and they kept running. So it's tricky. It's a little bit tricky. Here's two gaps with different results. They both ran up, but this was a gap down, this was a gap up. So it's kind of counterintuitive. So I think interpreting it in terms of where we are in the market cycle is probably more important than the actual movement itself in a vacuum. All right, so Peloton, like one of our leading one, BEP up. Oh, gap earnings gap down. Now today they're up 5%. Okay, never mind. That's not so good. Amazon selling off after earnings gap up. CCC whipsawing around earnings. Generac Generators, ZYXI. All right, so this thing is correcting finally. Looking for a bottom of sorts. 200 moving average down here at the 14 level. We're at 19, so plenty of room there. Peloton nice and tight. Yesterday looks like a test of the 20-day moving average. Right there, that orange moving average. Also the 10-day. Ooh, this is a good sign. 10-day bouncing off the 20-day. I've seen this. I kind of like this sign for Peloton. Hmm. They have earnings coming up. 8.5. It's kind of annoying. How can you buy shares pre-aftermarket? Is it only a specific set of people? No, I some exchanges won't let you place aftermarket orders. A lot will. The difference is you have to set a limit order. You can't just say buy 100 shares at the market. You can't do that. You have to say buy 100 shares like in Peloton, you have to say buy 100 shares at 66.90. And then if you only get 80 filled at 66.90 and then it goes to 66.91, you won't get the additional 20 shares. So it has to be a limit order in the aftermarket. Don't ask me why, probably because, you know, why would you have an after hours if it's the same as the market time? But you get the general picture. So that's really the only difference. And so that means there's a lot less people trading. Yeah, I've always wondered what the future holds for the stock market in terms of hours of operation. All right, Peloton moving. Let me go ahead and pull up some stuff. Where's my options? You have to apply for an on-fidelity? Oh, okay. That's weird. Yeah, and I've never really tried too hard to trade after hours. It can be super volatile. Um, like it can be really, really volatile. So it's hard to it's hard to want to do that, in my opinion. Let's check out Peloton. I got it going up here to the 89 level, it looks like. Yeah, let's see if that'll be a thing. Market flat now on the futures. They were up 1%. So that means the Qs are going to be like 0.75% up. Seeing distribution up here today. Yep, 0.75 in the dot. Look at that. Yeah, so that's not a super good sign. Not sure if I'm jumping into Peloton if the market's generally selling off, but that could be a good thing. I'll still see what's what with Peloton here. Should say 88. Oh, options expired today. Yeah, it's Friday. Sounds about right. So Peloton continues with this move. Put my here too. It's not too bad. It's not a bad trade. What's that? The 10.13. Yeah, it's a little less of a good trade. Still not bad though. 1665. Yeah. All right, Peloton going for it. Up three now. NIL looks like it's up there too. All right, selling off now. NIO Space Roku up here. Trade Desk Nikola. And it's Friday. Should probably wait till Monday to do anything. I'll wait. I was lining up a trade, but I think I'll wait. I will have to say, it's been very interesting. This has been a very successful year so far, and can't say I'm happy, just specifically due to my trading. Yeah, it's strange. Oh, getting a new roof on the house. That's a good thing. Just trying to figure out colors and such. All right, 0.15. Ooh, Peloton continuing on. All right, NIO. NIO up here, holding really nicely. Holding that gap right there for the past couple of weeks is very, very good. For NIO, Roku, Net. Oh, Net looking good here with earnings popping in. 8.6. Huya looking good here too. 20-day also coming up to the 10-day moving average, so those are kind of clinking together. That could be good. D-Dog mixing the 10 and the 20-day. Tesla holding strong at the 1500 level. Not too bad. Even with all the distribution, still just holding perfectly tight. Beautiful. A lot of red today. Soxel red, although not huge percentages. Kodak obvious. Um, Casa down here. Oh wow, it really tried yesterday, didn't it? Earnings a little bit lackluster. Couldn't gap it up. Reaffirms fiscal 2020, but couldn't beat earnings, it looks like. So they were slightly positive when they were supposed to be slightly negative, kind of whatever that situation ends up being. Zen, Atlassian. All right. Atlassian after earnings, that's a good thing. Not that it's down, but the fact that earnings is done. So we can get back to some normal price action. Maybe do something. It hasn't been able to do a whole lot for most of the year. UAL not moving in the right direction. Visa It's not everywhere you want to be. Well, I don't know why you have to have commercials for Visa anyways. Earnings were a little bit better, but price action after earnings, not that much better. Not really a great sign when Visa can't get going. Of course, if you looked at those economic numbers of GDP, it's pretty bad. If you guys haven't seen this yet, I'm not sure. I haven't Googled the chart myself. It just only goes to 2019. Really? Okay. There you go. St. Louis Fed GDP. This better give me the chart. Kaboom. This isn't the chart I was thinking about though, but still utterly devastating from a GDP perspective. It's down like 31%. Okay, it's not the chart I'm looking for. There's one. Oh, I really can't find this chart. Something like this. This isn't the exact one, but yeah, so there's GDP. There's 2008, which is just blah. Absolutely crazy. 2008. And then 2020 is obviously a much larger problem. Stock market's at all-time highs. Looks like they learned from 2008. Just print all the money up front. You're going to print it anyways. May as well do that. And they're obviously they're projecting big increases from a big decrease. So could just be a dead cat bounce. You never know. That'd be it's a pretty bad joke. Oh wow, there's interesting. Diners and restaurants that work with Open Table. Geesh. Holy crap. It's like 80% of restaurants is closed because they run month to month. They're mom and pops. It's horrible. When was this written? March. Yeah. Maybe CNN will have it. Of course, they're probably already on to something else. That was yesterday's news. Whole market tanks again retesting March lows. China moves for to punish Luckin Coffee for fabricating sales. Rob, you're just being picked on now. The hell was that? Some weird article. Oh, yeah, Herman Cain passed away. Shooky dooky now. I was kind of shocked to hear that. I'd kind of come. I don't know if likes the word for the guy, but I didn't have disdain for him. Seemed like a nice guy. So he passed away, 74. He had COVID. He had COVID. Yeah, they don't know where he got it, but speculation is he got it at the Tulsa rally. So, R.I.P. Herman Cain. Yeah, John Lewis passed away too. That's obviously a much larger, impactful passing. One of the last civil rights legends. Interim top in the stock market. Why do you say that, B Dubs? Roku 5%. All right, good volume on Roku. All right, Roku, what are you gonna do? I'm not too mad at the market right now. Cause on death certificate COVID. COVID causes blood clots. Cloths? Did he write cloths? That's funny. Oh no, that was you, Julius. That's you, Julius. That's even funnier. A coworker's friend's sister. Well, at least it was like 3 times removed from you, Rob. The person that died. Oh, you're Norwegian. Well, okay, yeah. You guys say cloths. Okay. Your accent comes through in text. That's awesome. Should come up with fonts for accents and text. It's like, oh, you're from Mexico? You're from Norway. Okay. Gotcha. Hey, Julius, keeping it real, Julius. Keeping it real. Or is it Ulius? Again, it'd be nice to have a actually, yeah, Norway would be awesome. Yeah, I'd like to go on actually I've got a little base camp. My mother-in-law, they've got 4 houses in Ireland in the same little island. I could do base camp, then just jump out from there. Just go live up there for a year. That'd be kind of fun. Bond market with ultra low yields is another telling sign. What were their yields before? Just low? How do you chart the bond yields, B dubs? I'd love to take a look at that. How's Peloton doing? Coming in a little bit. What's up, Ellie? Good morning. You missed it. We've already made $17 million, as we do every day about this time. Oh, there, yeah. That's the best use of that money, Rob. Yeah, B Dubs, if you got, yeah, I'd like to look at those yields if you know a way for me to check it out in a graphical chart type of format. We talked yesterday a little bit, actually. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was the day before about so far this has been the longest consolidation since the lows. The inability to make a new high. This has been the longest it's been. So we're definitely taking a pause here. I don't know if we're retesting lows. The Fed has, the money printing is strong with this one. Probably should be a good t-shirt to be made. A cruise in Norway had COVID today. Oh, good thing I never went on my cruise I bought. Well, never bought a cruise. I was thinking about buying a cruise for a minute. My cruises are cheap. Actually, you know what? We were always going to look for that GDP chart. What did we lose in GDP? Maybe Ellie knows. It was something like a lot. Oh yeah, they played some NBA games yesterday. The Lakers played the Clippers and the Lakers won, evening this the series on the season 2-2. Maybe business. Yeah, California Pizza Kitchen files for bankruptcy, so you can't overpay for pizza there anymore. Wow, apparently I look for embedded systems all the time. Look at me, I'm impressive. Wow, Google parent Alphabet posts first revenue decline in company history? What? 3 months in June, a sign of how much the pandemic has strained its core business. Reported 30.3 billion in revenue for the second quarter, down 2%. That is interesting. Um, Bill Gates' message to COVID-19 conspiracy theorists. Ooh, that'd be interesting to see. Should we listen? Here, I'll unmute it and we'll listen. Let's see what he says.
I was reading the New York Times. There are 16,000 Facebook posts espousing conspiracy theories about you and the virus. These, and I mean, I've seen these things. They're liked or commented on 900,000 times on YouTube. The top 10 videos that spread lies about you had almost 5 million views. It's also pointed out that according to Signal Labs, which is a media analysis company that tracks this, misinformation about you is the most widespread of all coronavirus falsehoods. So there's a conspiracy theory that one of our viewers asked about. I just want to play that sound.
What would you say to the fringe portions of the public, like conspiracy theorists, that seem to think that you're somehow responsible for the outbreak?
There's also
I hope he says I am.
pushing vaccines because you're going to inject people with a tracking device when they get the vaccine. It's all part of a so-called globalist plot to control the world. QAnon folks are, which is actually a group that's been targeting me as well lately. They're claiming falsely that I'm somehow connected with Jeffrey Epstein and global cabalists of sex traffickers. It's insane. What do you say to people who believe this stuff? Because I mean, I'm sure you are inundated by people direct messaging me just insane stuff.
Yeah, the combination of having social media, spreading things that are very titillating, to have this pandemic where people are uncertain and they prefer to have a simple explanation. It's meant that these things are really millions of messages a day, and people like myself and Dr. Fauci become the target. Often, the clever thing they do, our foundation has given more money to buy vaccines to save lives than any group. So you just turn that around. You say, okay, we're making money and we're trying to kill people with vaccines or by inventing something. And at least it's true, we're associated with vaccines, but you actually have, sort of flipped the connection that we have there. I hope it doesn't create vaccine hesitancy. I hope, this whole story of innovation that's going on, that we do get the benefit of that. It's really the only good news I'm bringing you today is that the diagnostic, therapeutic, and vaccine innovation, these amazing private sector companies, without the coordination you would have liked, but they are doing it. And I do think people on the therapeutic side will be surprised. And, these are well-meaning people. This is a time where people are doing great work. And, so I hope the conspiracy stuff dies down. It's really, the numbers kind of blow my mind. And it's not just the fringe people that you would normally think of.
It's not at all. I mean, I can tell you, I get stuff from people who seem, they have lives, they have families. I don't know if they genuinely believe this or they've just been misled. But, and for me, it's, they claim I was on Jeffrey Epstein's airplane and going to his island with Tom Hanks or I mean, just insane, crazy stuff. Do you think, I know internet companies are looking at this. Do you wish that they would play a role in taking stuff down, which is as demonstrably false?
Okay, that's how rich Bill Gates is. He says, I don't care. I'm drinking my coffee while I'm on CNN. That's funny. All right, so not a lot of fun stuff right there, but Yeah, so Julius with a good point. Everyone already carries a tracking device. That's pretty good. Julius blames algorithms. If you watch conspiracy videos on social media, you get several more. You get served more and more outlandish stuff. Yeah, possibly. That's actually a good point. Yeah, Zuckerberg defeats a lizard. There was a good clip I watched last night about AOC going talking to Mark Zuckerberg. Why does Zuck even have a job? That guy is so that guy is just so out of his realm when talking to people that don't 100% agree with him. Oh, it's, it was so brutal. She just, if you want to watch the clip, that's the one we should watch. It's just absolutely killing him. It was good too. She's so good. She's good when she's digging into someone, especially like Zuckerberg. Of course, he's an easy target. I'm sure he's been picked on every day in his life. It's just now he has $70 billion to moat himself across the world. Dow Jones negative zero point 0.1 is a price weighted index. Split at the end of the month means that Apple will move from the most influential company to the 30 to the 15th or 16th. Really? Oh yeah, it is a price weighted index. I didn't think about that. Huh. Very interesting. That's gonna. Oh, I wonder if when Apple splits, I wonder if they can't change the data going backward. That's a problem for the Dow, isn't it? That's gonna mess some stuff up. Yeah, could be. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the reason why. There's a lot of companies that die that aren't, the leading market cap companies in the world. All right, Tesla lower, USLV leading us today after a big drop yesterday. Facebook, speaking of Mark Zuckerberg being a robot lizard. Seriously, that guy should just take his money and I don't know. Not a big fan of not a big fan of Mark. Google Porter first negative revenue decline, earnings 1013, which is pretty good. Why do I hate on Mark? I think I hate on Mark because hmm, since when do I pick on rich people? I don't pick on rich. I'm just saying he has enough money to go be stupid elsewhere. No, every time he's asked these questions about ads and about he's just one of those annoying people that never answers the question. I don't like that. I guess I expect more of a 35-year-old super geek. It's like, just answer the damn question, you know? Just answer the question. I don't like that. Um, yeah, I don't hate on Bill. I think, well, there are different stages in their career. Bill does a lot of good with his foundation, so that's probably why I don't hate on Bill. But I was thinking the same thing. He didn't really answer the question. I mean, he kind of did. It was also kind of a fluff question, but at one point, see, when Bill was running Microsoft, it was pretty his anti when he did the antitrust things. I kind of remember that, and I thought he was kind of douchey with some of those responses. But I think he answered a lot of questions more directly. At least the ones that I remember. So think there is, I think there's media bias on Mark because Facebook is killing classic media. Um, there could be, yeah, there absolutely could be. but then the news on Facebook isn't any better, you know? And that's the problem. All these, that's the problem with social media is that even, and that's why it's gotten worse. Is there is now no, um, there's now no filter at all. It used to be to get on the news, there was a filter, and it was the editor, right? It used to be that was the thing. You have to get past the reporter, the editor. You have to get past all those people, and a lot of those people, not all of them, but a lot of them had integrity, and they'd be like, "Yeah, no, this isn't real. We're not going to do this." Now anyone can post anything, anywhere, anytime, and it just gets circulated. All of it, the good and the bad. It's so hard, as we've already seen. It's hard to disseminate this stuff in a digital world. Um, Musk response with a lot of douchey answers. Man, you're mad at me this morning, Ellie. So do you like Mark Zuckerberg, or you just don't like that I'm hating on Mark Zuckerberg? The current futures indicators Nasdaq will close the month the farthest extended above the monthly Bollinger Band since 2000. Yeah, we talked. Actually, Ellie and I talked about this a while ago. It's above its 200-day moving average as well. It's pretty much it's above everything at this stage of the game, Julius. Yeah, if you throw the 200 on the Nasdaq, it's the same thing. Almost anything, it's way extended. It's all Fed money. It's all Fed money. There's no doubt about that. You want to try a short? Well, go for the short when you get the signal, Julius. Don't front run it. I mean, I think when we were talking about the Nasdaq being above the 200 moving average, I think it was back in June or something, or maybe it was May. I think it was June, and we've gone up significantly since then. So don't just try a short, Julius. You need to time it correctly. Has to be timed correctly, otherwise it's pointless. There's only When you look at this, there was a very short period of time to be short the market and actually have a good chance of profiting from COVID. And then, so that was like from 2-1 to arguably 3-11. So you basically got a month and a week, and every other time would have been like in the history of the world would have been, would have been a bad time to get involved in a short. So you have to time it really perfectly to get any kind of semblance of a profit out of it. Now, I guess if you want to do it up here, you have to make sure you have a decently wide stop loss, which would be probably the high, 11,058, if you think that is the high. Of course, personally, I wouldn't mind a correction right now because it would bring Tesla back down to that $1,200,000 level, which I think would be amazing. Let's go load up on Tesla down there. And going back to the CEO thing with what Ellie's saying, CEOs should stay at their office and not in the news. Well, the politicians did put them there. They had Google, I think Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon all testify yesterday on the Hill. I haven't seen all the testimony, but just going after big companies. The problem is Amazon's not even a monopoly yet. So I don't know how they could get Amazon with antitrust. They're not a monopoly. They have lots of competition, which is interesting. Apple also lots of competition, not a monopoly, not even close to a lion's share of smartphone sales. You know, Google, you can argue, probably does have a monopoly on search. Whether that's a good or a bad thing is up for debate. There's good and bad that come along with that. And then Facebook's an interesting one because they don't necessarily create a product. I don't know if they can have a monopoly. I don't, can you have a monopoly on media or social media? Because they don't. So yeah, that's an interesting debate. And how would you um, regulate that? It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Unfortunately, yeah, Twitter and YouTube, yeah. How would you regulate social media from a government perspective? I don't think they can. I think it's completely out of their hands for the most part. It's weird. I th Yeah, it's they should probably make some. It's also complicated. Yeah, that's a tough one. Can only regulate ads and storage of personal info. And I guess what? Make sure the ads are factually accurate, but then who checks that? That's always a catch-22 as well. The only thing they can enforce is say that being on their platform is Second Amendment. Deny cancel culture? Cancel culture is a weird thing, in my opinion. It's pretty weird. The companies do it arbitrarily. It's an arbitrary thing. It's not like, the government doesn't say, "Oh, you got to cancel Cops," which I think is weird. Like, why would you cancel the show Cops? The best episodes were about dumb white people. That was the only reason to watch Cops, is to watch rednecks. It wasn't about, yeah. Whenever I watched Cops, it was the worst people were the stupid white people. I don't think that was a racially biased thing at all. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, cancel culture is weird though, but it's the companies doing it to themselves. You can't regulate that in any way, shape, or form. That's just free market. Check any totalitarian regime. China is super into that. Cancel culture? Yeah, that sucks. Nasdaq down 0.24. It's going up and down there. Tesla already with an outside day. Roku holding up. Peloton trying to hold up. Not sure it's going to be successful. Yeah, I don't like Facebook. Every time I go on there, I feel bad. I feel guilty. Like, why is there so much garbage on my Facebook feed? I guess I'm hating today. I don't know why. I don't know why. Zuckerberg does bother me though. I, I haven't seen, and I don't go out and seek Zuckerberg. I will say that. Like, I don't go out and seek Zuck. It just Zuck happens. There you go. Copyright that, Ellie. Zuck happens. Just every time I see him talk, it's always him saying, rolling back something he said years ago and always apologizing and always this and always that and then never like when he goes to Congress, he always says something then doesn't do it. It's like, dude, follow through. Like I said, I expect more from a super geek. And Zuck's about as geeky as they get. Just is what it is. He's about as geeky. I expect more from a super geek. I think that's probably what it is. At least Musk kind of calls it as he sees it. May not call it how it is, but he calls it how he sees it. It's usually somewhat accurate. All right, Kodak. Who shorted at 60? I had my order, it just never got filled. All right, let's go bottom up since today's kind of a red day. Musk is like an unfiltered Zuckerberg. Um, I will disagree with that. Musk is probably about 1,000 times smarter than Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think Zuckerberg is smart at all. I think he's a geek. I don't think he's necessarily nearly as innovative and intelligent as Musk by a long shot. By a long shot. Yeah, you can't even put them in the same category. Zuckerberg's just the luckiest guy on the planet. Really, just the luckiest guy. You think so? I don't think so. I think Musk is on the spectrum. I think he's like very high level Asperger's, like super smart. Zuck is just a geek. I think they're completely different. You can see the Asperger. You think so? I could be wrong. I don't know, but all I know is all I know is when I think about if you think about that on Zuck versus Musk. Let's see what Ellie says there. Audiobook about Facebook. To be honest, I'm wrong. Mark is genius. He is just way meaner and is one trick pony. He's way meaner? Really? Zuck's meaner, huh? Okay. So let me tell you what I think in my head, and I admit it could be 100% wrong, but this is what I think. I think Zuckerberg, gotcha. Wow. Yeah, because he got bullied his whole life because he's a super geek. Um, so this is how I think in my head, and tell me if I'm completely wrong, and it sounds like you're going to. I think Zuck took the Winklevoss twins idea, was a coder, was able to make it, it became a success, somehow got some money and just kind of kept the thing afloat until he got more money and essentially kind of stumbled his way to success from that perspective in terms of being able to scale. And then the product kind of made itself. He didn't really do much. He just kind of had to keep the boat afloat, you know? So he just kind of ended up falling upwards, is kind of how I think about it. That's how I think about Facebook because ever since Facebook's early iteration, not a tremendous amount has changed. They've added a lot of peripheral products, obviously, but like the news feed, I mean, there's not a ton of innovation there. It was essentially the Winklevoss twins idea that basically you can say he stole it in the same way that Jobs and Musk or Jobs and Gates stole from Xerox. Most of these things actually end up stealing from other companies. That's kind of how I think he kind of fell upwards and was able to kind of keep things afloat. And then I do remember there was a battle whether he was going to stay CEO or not, and I don't know how he negotiated that. Maybe it said it in that audio book or whatever, but then he ended up being CEO. That's kind of how I think about it. Jobs is like Silicon Valley, Jesus Christ. But he's less intelligent. Yeah, he is definitely less intelligent. Definitely less intelligent than some of those people for sure. Bullied a bunch of competitors. The intelligence agencies keep Facebook afloat. I think they just take it. I don't think they pay Facebook. I think they just take the data. They're like, here's our subpoena. Give us every piece of data on every person on the planet. Oh, gotcha, Ellie. Yeah, Julius, Facebook is a gift to the NSA. So Nick thinks I'm right. The Winklevoss trends were the innovators. The proof is their ability to recognize future technology. Um, yeah, that's kind of how I think about it. The Winklevoss trends, they just couldn't do it, and Zuck just took it. And I don't know that I don't remember the dynamics there. I forget the social media movie, but um, so Ellie says he was coding a lot. No, I've got no doubt the dude can code. I have no doubt about that. I mean, he was at Harvard. He's a book smart dude. Yeah. No, yeah, I mean there were definite improvements, but I think I think the Winklevoss twins, like, which is what Nick was saying, I think they stumbled upon kind of what made Facebook better than MySpace and all those other ones, and then anyway, and then on Musk, when it comes to Musk, because someone was saying something about Musk. Oh, Julie says you could say the same thing about Musk. He didn't start Tesla. Yes and no. If you, yeah, I actually did a lot of reading on this because I am kind of a Tesla fanboy, I guess. He may not have actually started the company Tesla, but the dude hands on with his team, but with his team, hands on engineered everything. We're talking physical and code. He's on a whole other level than Yeah, he's on a whole other level, physical and code. And then, you can talk about his other work with SpaceX, which was basically 100% ground up. But I think yeah, see, my argument, Nick, is they were not in the same boat by any stretch. I think Elon's like 10x, maybe 100x what Zuckerberg is. That's my initial, that's my thought on that. Yeah, it's true, Ellie. That's true. Yeah, I mean, so maybe the Winklevoss twins is what sparked him to come up with Facebook. That's a good possibility. Yeah. I just have a Yeah, I don't think Zuck is a vision. I think Zuck's, like I said, I think he's the luckiest guy on the planet. I think everyone has these startup ideas, you know, and then he's just the one that made it work, which was great. Not saying the guy's not skilled. I'm not saying he's not skilled. Of course he's skilled. He's intelligent. He's a good coder. Apparently a huge asshole, which that you kind of have to all these big guys are huge assholes. Musk is a huge asshole. Gates was a huge asshole. Probably is still a huge asshole. Jobs was a huge asshole. That is like the one common thing all of those mega billionaires have in common is they're huge assholes. Every single one of them, you know? They're all huge assholes. All right. I hear what you're saying, Ellie. You could be right. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't in the room. That's just a feeling I get from the outside looking from my little office here. So, yeah, you could be 100% right. At the same time, I'll give you all that. I'm not going to debate you on any of that stuff. But I will reassert that you cannot put Zuck and Musk in the same boat. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think you can do that. They're completely different boats. And Musk's ocean is, I don't know about bigger, but no. So you think if you put Musk and Zuckerberg in the same room, you think that they would be on par with each other? Yeah, Musk is way more versatile. Absolutely. Oh, okay. So you were agreeing with me. You weren't. Okay. Yeah, Musk, he's a rare breed of individual. Yeah, I don't know. Well, Musk, to be fair, Julius, Musk has a feud with everyone. Musk doesn't like anyone. I was reading a thing the other day about Musk doesn't like Buffett because Buffett said some stuff about Musk, which was kind of funny. I'm like, really? Why would Buffett even comment on Musk? Bezos, he kind of went the robotics route with Amazon in terms of his um, but only kind of. He didn't like dive into it. Yeah, he could have done good that. Yeah, yeah, halfway. I agree. He kind of bought some robotics companies and made them use his warehouses, but he could have. I think he's just soft. I think he's just sticking to software. Oh, there you go, Nick. That's pretty cool. Yeah, now it's just garbage. Facebook is now just garbage. Yeah, it's horrible. Every time, it's still a good place to go on and kill time. Twitter's more fun though. I'd rather just troll Twitter than troll Facebook. But Facebook is more people you know. Twitter is people you like, which is funny. Those are different. Stalker's paradise. Yeah, Twitter's good in bursts. Yeah, you can't spend. I don't know if you want to spend all day long. Facebook used to be a lot more fun until frickin' politics got involved. I gotta say, once you started learning everyone's political leanings and they started shouting it on Facebook, that's when Facebook became stupid. Before Facebook was fun until politics became like a badge of honor, I guess, and you have to own your political sentiment, which is hard, so hard to do, unless that's your whole life. But then I don't. It's just I don't know. My newsfeed now sucks, and I know these people, and my newsfeed sucks. Did SpaceX delete its Facebook? Hmm. Let's check it out. I not my Facebook, Ellie. Apparently, you know a lot of more leftists than I do. That is not my experience. All my friend, I live in Arizona, so maybe it's just a thing about where you live. You're going from New York to San Francisco. Your leftist paradise. My stuff is all right wing crazies. Here, I'll show you my Facebook. There's my baby boy Ethan. He cost 200 tickets. My friend Jacob. An advertisement. PBS. Of course, they're going to give me all the stuff I want to see first. Here's a crazy friend of mine. Um, he's crazy. He's a little bit nuts. And he calls everyone out for being nuts, which is kind of funny but sad at the same time. This is a friend's kid of mine who's trying to be a rapper. That's an ex-coworker who's a leftist lady. Um, that is an old coworker. He posts some just normal stuff like this, which is fine, normal stuff. I guess that's what Instagram's for. Maybe I should go to Instagram more often. Old friend. Where's my crazy stuff? No, not tons of cats. It's a nice beetle. It's pretty dope. My crazy friend paints cars, so here's my crazy friend. Hopefully there'll be some Paul. Sarah, she's a crazy right winger. She's a crazy right winger. So that's what I get. And see, this is the funny part about Facebook. Your feed is going to be completely different from my feed, and I can't view your feed. That's kind of strange to me. It'd be cool if I could view other people's feeds. Like that would be kind of fun. But I just like I wish I could say, "Hey, give me different types of content." I don't know where I can do that. I get the same old garbage. This is an old friend from high school. Yeah, well, this Paula, she's a lot of my. Yeah, I feel bad though. I don't want to do that though. So here's kind of she's one of the crazy ones. She's super right wing, super pro Trump, and just you can't you can't talk to her at all about anything. Lately, I think lately she's been posting more funny stuff and a little less crazy stuff. Yeah, cow farts. So there's this one. There's this meme. I mean, it's just her, you know. Oh, but in terms of crazy, that's my crazy friend. That's part of the crazy. And what she's saying that's crazy. Um, Okay, I'm not on Facebook every day, so a lot of the stuff's gone away. Just some of the stuff, maybe I just don't agree with it. Maybe it's not crazy. Yeah, the aim of the bubble being free to click more, that makes more sense. That makes more sense, yeah. Maybe it's just monotonous. Maybe that's just what it is. Maybe it's not crazy. Maybe it's just monotonous. Maybe I'm using the wrong term. Yeah. Maybe I should view it from a different. Yeah, it's not really crazy. It's just well, my friend is crazy. I do have a crazy friend on here. That's probably most of the crazy. Yeah. Well, there used to be more of that. There's not there on what you see here is my friend. There's my crazy friend. He's a painter, pretty good one too. He's a pretty good car painter. And she's a realtor. It's a nice house. Maybe it's just the monotony. Maybe it's not crazy. Maybe it's just monotonous. Here's another political post. What does it say? I still don't understand how a man who's never held public office is being until being elected is blamed for all America's problems by the people we've had in Congress since the 70s. If you will vote to re-elect Trump, say absolutely. Not a crazy post, but he's not being blamed for all of it. And see, I mean, this isn't crazy, but I think this is indicative of where we're at today. You're either blamed for everything or blamed for nothing. You know what I mean? It's a little bit true, but I don't think he's being blamed for all of America's problems. They were blaming Obama for all of America's problems too at the same time. But he's not. I don't blame him for all of America's problems. I don't see everyone else blame him. Thanks, Obama. I love that. That's so funny. Thanks, Obama. Right? I mean, it happens with every president. And see, this is what a lot of people fail to realize is that every president is blamed for all of America's problems. Yeah, it's so polarized. There are people on the left that blame him for everything. He should be blamed for what he's responsible for. And I don't even like I don't even like the things he's responsible for. New breed of dog collar, that's important to know. And there's my buddy's paint job. I think it's before it's cleared. Yeah, now to clear it. He hasn't cleared it yet, you can tell. So, yeah, I guess nothing too crazy. Just a lot of monotony. Because I only have like 6 people in here, I guess. Read the room. What am I reading? What'd I miss? All right, let's go back to market for a second. 0.32 for the Nasdaq. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I didn't look at that. Let's look at that. SpaceX face. I was just gonna Google that actually. There's another one of my buddy's cars. He does have pretty good taste in cars though. Space X. Oh yeah, so the SpaceX serial number 7, I think it is actually that they're gonna try to do a test flight fairly soon. Yeah, nothing official for SpaceX. Deleted Facebook's yeah, so what's this about? And Tesla, okay. He is in such a good position. Musk is the dude. He can get press whenever he wants. He doesn't need a Facebook page. A lot of companies got to have the Facebook. He is not that way. Definitely not that way. Doesn't need the Facebook. Um, delete SpaceX's Facebook page as well as Tesla while answering messages from other Twitter users. Then he followed through. Yeah, that's the thing he does. Musk follows through. I think that's the difference between him and Zuck. Zuck talks to Congress. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll take responsibility, accounting," and then he doesn't. That's what annoys me. So yep, no more Facebook page. No more Facebook page. Frontline doctors were getting deleted. What do you mean? All right, Peloton holding pretty good here. Not too bad. Volume could be a little bit better for sure. 0.25%. Really, nothing's happening today. We're still in that same old holding pattern. We'll see what happens at the end of the day today. Today being the end of the week and the end of the month could be somewhat significant. Doesn't have to be, but it could be. AMD down 1.78% if you're looking for a discount on AMD. Not too bad. Definitely more down today than up. LVS, GMed, Genus, Win. Yeah, the coronavirus companies are not doing good. United Airlines is definitely pointing in the wrong direction. We saw that a little bit earlier. Looked like it was trying to break out and then just, yeah, no thanks. Earnings bad. Rob, are you drunk? I think Rob is drunk. I think Rob's drunk. If you were going to say quadruple witching Friday, I think that would have been, um, was that June? If that's July, that would have been like a week ago. Gravestone Doji on the monthly? Is that you follow the monthly often there, B-dubs? UAL seeking to furlough more pilots. What are they saying here? May need to furlough up to a third of its pilots because of the worsening economic outlook. Wow. Wow, they're saying 2024 now? That's crazy. For airline traffic getting back to normal. I don't know if that's going to be accurate, but I think it just depends how if the economy bounces back. Yeah. Revisit airlines to see who still has cash and funding left. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. It's getting a little late to do that today. Yeah, remember that for Monday, Rob. I don't want to dive. We already dove down a Facebook rabbit hole. I don't want to go down another one. So definitely not good though for the airlines. Team being bought back up. What was the stock yesterday that gapped down that was coming back that bounced right on support? What was that one? I don't know if I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna look though. I want to see how that thing closed. Amazon holding its little gap so far. That won't last very long. Probably. Roku back down a little bit. LVGO continuing into new highs. Looks like it has earnings probably today, the look of it. 8.6. Nope, another week. Peloton looks good. Trade Desk looks good. Good volume today. They're going to have earnings coming up to 8.6. Was it iffy? I'm not sure if iffy was the one that bounced off the trend line, but definitely a fairly high volume day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 721, 755. So that yesterday was a pocket pivot for IPHI. 8.4 for earnings. Yeah, I think that's Facebook just doing horrible work in terms of that doctor thing. I don't know. Yeah, Apple's all-time high. They gapped up on earnings for sure. I'm looking for the one yesterday that bounced off of that trend line. There was a supportive trend line that bounced off of. Yep, 4-1 split. Yeah, we talked about that towards the top of the show. We kind of led with that a little bit, I guess, if you want to consider us leading with something. Pins? What's pins? Match.com had a good bounce off of our trend line. There's a nice doji to try to get. Kind of a low volume doji, which is a little bit odd, but Pinterest? Really? Oh, they had good earnings. Man, they haven't done anything since they IPO'd. Actually, what we were talking about, Nick, was when you split a stock too many times, it could be a topping signal. Not that Apple may be immune to topping signals at this point, given the market cap that they have, but um, and then I think it was Julius said that the Dow is a index that price weights. They don't do market cap weighting; they do price weighting. So Apple's going to go from I think it was like 20% of the Dow to say, or no, like the number one ranked Dow contributor to like the 15th or 16th Dow contributor, which would be interesting for the Dow. Not that we give a lot of weighting to the Dow. INSG has been having a pretty good week. Yeah, that thing just started to blast off the other day. Hasn't done a whole lot since. Earnings coming up 8.5 after market. 8.4. Yeah, late. I think that should be late next week. That's going to be, I guess, middle next week is going to be um, pretty heavy for earnings. Maybe we'll get on to normal things. Light still doing good out of the symmetrical triangle. ZTS, new highs are pretty good. Well, good, Nick. Yeah, for sure. Square looks nice and tidy up here too. Earnings on 8.5. That same time frame. Crazy. And gold. I think that's all-time high. They said it was an all-time high for gold. I'm not sure if that's. Yeah, it is an all-time high for gold. We just can't see it on the same chart on the weekly. 186 for gold. My measured moves are taking us up here to the 226 level in a couple of years. Huh. Okay, bye, babe. Your hair looks good. Yeah. Remember the fun gold trade of 2019? Was it this one that we took? Or was it this one that we took? I think it was that one right there. I think we took that trade. That'd have been a great trade. Options trade. Epic. I probably had it on, sold off too soon. I can't hold these options for 2 years. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, it's hard for me to hold these positions for super long periods of time. My gold, take this gold trade for instance. I mean, this was, I don't want to say it was obvious because we didn't, obviously Corona pretty much exacerbated everything in terms of gold, I think. Um, but if you look at any of these going up, my target here is 225 going out to like 2023. You can't buy an option not that far. But I was looking at 2022 options, which is June 2022. And if you think you're going to 225 right now, it's not worth it right now to pay that. But it probably would have been worth it back in the day when we put this trade on right there at 140. That would have been worth it. Let's take a look actually. We can do think back 12/24 2019. So that one only goes into January. See the options, they don't let you go out too far. So in terms of 2022, January 2022, I guess you could get up there, but let's just say 200. Let's just say a target was 200. So your target is 200. So this is worth 20, that's 400%. This is worth 40, that's over 400%. This is worth 50. So you're talking, 400 or 500%, which today you would have gotten. Let's say you just did the 150 for 1120. All right, let's just say 150 for 1120 because that's super far out. 150 for 1120, January. So you're about 350%. That'd have been a good trade. But you got to hold that for 6 months, 7 months. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Roku holding up, Peloton selling off a little bit. Ooh. All right, I think I'm gonna get out of here, guys. 917 bars, that's a lot. Think I'm gonna bounce, guys. Unless you guys want to look at something else, I'm gonna get out of here. Kids are up. Oh, beat them up a little bit. Oh, that was a system sound. That's muted now. Yeah, have a nice weekend, guys. Don't come to Arizona. It's gonna be really hot. Really hot in Arizona. So, all right, everyone, have a good weekend. Stay safe. If you think the market's topping, do you think UAL is a bad position? I do think UAL is a bad position. Yes, I don't like it. I think we're going to be down here for a while, depending how long your vision is. But the way it looks today, I don't like it at all. And with all them saying they're going to be out, we're not going to get air traffic back for maybe years. I don't like it whatsoever. We were thinking 6 months, and then it didn't happen. And now we're in for the long winter. Punxsutawney Phil has seen his shadow. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.